in this video, I'm just going to do the examples for 10.6. These should match the ones in your packet. So you just watched a video about why using this formula is more useful than length times width times height. So we're going to be finding volume. And just a reminder, this big B is area of the base. And so our base can be a lot of different things. And then H is still the height of the prism or cylinder. Okay, and so our base can be a lot of different things. It could be a parallelogram, a triangle, a circle, a regular polygon, it could be a trapezoid, lots of different things. So these are our most common ones. So just a reminder, if my base is a parallelogram, so I'm going to use big B for base area, right? That's just the base times height of that particular shape. If it's a triangle, it's base times height divided by 2. And then in a cylinder's case, our base is a circle, so pi r squared. And then remember, if it's a regular polygon, like a pentagon, hexagon, etc., it's 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter. So I'm going to do these two examples, and I can see this one is a pentagonal prism. So my big B is a pentagon. So a regular, I should say, regular pentagon. So I need to know what is the formula to find the area of a regular pentagon. Well, that is right here. So my big B is 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter, okay? And then the height of my prism is 7. Okay, so I'm going to take my volume and find the area of the base and multiply by 7. 7 is the distance between the bases. That is the height of this prism. And even though this pentagon is not on the bottom, you guys, it is still the base. Remember, the base has 2 parallel faces, and they don't have to be rectangles. They can be any shape. The lateral area, or the sides of the prism, have to be rectangles if it's a prism. Okay, so let's jump back to my base area. So the pentagon. So here's my pentagon, right? I'm going to blow this triangle up a little bit. Okay, so we need the apothem. They nicely already gave us that angle, is 36 degrees. And then this, if I cut this in half, instead of a length of 5, it's going to have a length of 2.5 meters. Okay, so I'm going to find my apothem by using tangent, because this is my opposite and adjacent side that I'm going to be using. So tan of our reference angle equals opposite over adjacent. Remember, these are the scenarios where I first multiply by a to get it out of the fraction, and then I'm going to divide both sides by tan 36. So what I end up entering in the calculator is 2.5 divided by tan 36. I'm going to go ahead and enter that and round 2 decimal places here. So we've got, let me just double check my mode here really quick. Okay, so we're going to do 2.5 divided by tan 36. 3.44 is our apothem. Okay, now the perimeter, well, we knew one side was 5, so our perimeter, I have 5 of those sides since it's a pentagon, which gives us 25. So my big B is 1/2 or 0.5 times the apothem, 3.44, times 25. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply those 3. So we got 0.5 times 3.44 times 25 is 43. And then our volume, right, is big B times H. So just a reminder, big B times H. So if I do that, I've got 43 times 7, which is going to give us a volume of 301. And then always for volume, we have cubic units. So my units on my dimensions were meters. So this is going to be cubic meters for volume. Okay, our second example is a cylinder. This formula still works for cylinder. So my base area is a circle, which is pi r squared. And then the height of this cylinder is 12. Okay, so let's start with the big B again. So my big B is pi, my radius is 8, so I can go ahead and plug that in. I'm going to go ahead and leave this in terms of pi, you guys. So 8 squared is 64. I'm just going to leave pi there. So my volume, right, is area of the base times the height. So area of the base was 64 pi. And then times our height of 12. And then I'm just going to do 64 times 12, 768. And then I'm going to leave pi there. Okay, and then we've got centimeters on this figure, so volume is going to be cubic centimeters. So cylinders we can just leave in terms of pi, you guys, and do the operation with the other numbers. We still use that same formula, but my base is a circle, and that's really the gist, is big B changes depending on whatever shape our base is. And that's it for those examples. Thanks for watching.